and welcome. I bid thee welcome to part 2 of our 12-hour adventure with DnDnPaige running Longing and Loyalty. I am most excited. There is no joy like it. Let us go round and speak to everyone. But before we do, please, I ask you all to take your attentions and direct them towards our sponsors, Hero Forge, who make the most wonderful trinkets, including colored items that you can find thanks to their very successful Kickstarter recently. They made some great profit through their Kickstarter, the rumors say. They smashed it out of the water. Next around, we have Mage Hand Press, who is currently present and sitting down there. Justin and the Mage Hand Press people, they supply our stream with the most fantastic of settings and player characters for all kinds of D&D 5e expansions. And I implore you to go and check out their website on that link right there. Lastly, the Deck of Many. I declare there is no cuter setting. The Humblewood setting has deers and small folk, little birds, and all sorts of wonderful things, and they're trying to prevent the forest from taking much more damage from the terrifying immolation that is consuming it. Let's go around and say hello to everyone, starting with the conductor, the facilitator, the lady herself, DnDnPaige.
Oh my gosh, what an introduction. I don't know if my scrappy self earns up to that, but I'll take it. Hi everyone, I'm Paige. I'm known as DnDnPaige on Twitter. You can find my Twitter handle above or below me, wherever it is. And yeah, I'm very excited. This is Good Society, a Jane Austen RPG for any who aren't familiar. Super fun. I cannot wait. And yeah, I guess when we introduce our characters, let's start with your, obviously, besides your wonderful selves, your name, who you are, and your secret desire and your relationship really quickly. And then we'll hop on into it. So I guess who is next around it?
I will lead us around, but just before I do, I would like to bid thanks to It's the Riddler, who has gifted us 5 subscriptions to the channel. New subscribers, you may now enjoy the benefits of our emotes and all of the other fantastic things that come along with it. Which is mostly emotes. Let's go round the screen next to Honey and Dice.
Hi, I'm Honey and Dice. Am I introducing my character? Or just saying hi?
I think both. First your wonderful self, and then your character.
Okay. Hello, I'm Honey, aka Honey and Dice, everybody's biggest cheerleader. Today I am playing Isabel Lindsay. You said name, then you said secret desire, correct?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
Okay, I'm playing Isabel Lindsay, the heiress, who is just looking to do a little bit of meddling to get 2 very eligible people together. After all, marriage is an amazing thing.
Okay.
I love it. And who's your relationship with, both public and private?
I do hope I get to see my good friend Alexander at this party that we are attending. We may not have been able to make it work as affianced associates, but as friends we get along quite well.
I love this. Thank you so much for that. That made me so happy.
Next around the screen, as we continue in a clockwise fashion, we welcome Mage Hand Press.
Hi, I'm Justin, Community Manager with Mage Hand Press. Excited to try out this new system. Like Scrap so wonderfully said earlier, we make all sorts of 5e supplements. It's a lot of fun, in my totally unbiased opinion. Anyways, I'll be playing Alexander Pendleton, and while I am good friends with Isabel, I am secretly engaged to who others might see simply as an acquaintance of mine, Jamie.
Indeed. As we continue around the screen, we welcome Lily Sparks.
Hello, everyone. So lovely to be on Scratticus again. My name is Lily Sparks. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lily Sparks with an X. I am today playing Alessandra Gatsby, who is the socialite. Her father and brother were both in the military, which earned them a level of power in society. And I'm going to use that amount of power to drive my way all the way to the top and hopefully retrieve my long-lost love, Victoria, but only if my secret rival, Isabel, would stay the hell away.
And I guess it would be amiss to skip over myself, so I too will be participating in this wonderful little production. I will be playing Jamie Cullen, who uses femme pronouns. Do not believe every rumor you hear, but some may have referred to me as a meddler. And it's of no little secret that Alessandra and I used to be good friends. However, the years have not been kind to our friendship, and now my greatest desire is to rekindle that friendship. It is, of course, a well-kept secret that Alexander is my fiancé. A secret that is not a secret that I keep for him, due to my common heritage, is, of course, does not bring any ire to me whatsoever.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. All right, so let's start this off because I want to see this very polite, not passive aggressive at all relations play out. So starting off, everyone in this small kind of, you live in a small town. It's not too big. It's not quite a city. You know, it's enough that you get social engagements, but not really enough that you see more than the same, maybe 30 people. So Lady Hilda, she's a rich widow. She's got a lot of money to spend by herself, and she's definitely the wealthiest person in this area. She invites you all to a garden party. You know, she's got to spend her money somehow. Like, none of you are her favorite. She kind of has to invite you. So, starting with Isabel, how do you arrive to this party? On foot? By carriage?
Grudgingly by carriage, even though I tried to give it up to somebody who was going to have to walk a lot further, but it wouldn't be the thing to do to show up on foot. So, to keep up appearances, I arrived in carriage, along with a couple of associates who would not have normally been allowed to come on their own. Very friendly, very greeting everyone I see, inquiring about the health of one's child, asking about someone else's dog and whether or not they've had puppies yet, just staying super engaged as I flit about and make my entrance.
Yes, and Lady Hilda greets you. You've known her since you were a small child. You're of the same old money. In fact, you're probably one of her godchildren, her mini that she's been asked to be the godmother of. She greets you and she does a little dip. Maybe not the dip you quite deserve in this curtsy. Isabel, my dear, it's so lovely to see you. Sorry, please ignore the hounds. They've gone wild. They've not been out lately. Maybe we'll release them during this garden party.
Well, it's nice to see you as well. I had to make sure I put on my finest. I was out riding with a couple of friends, and then time got away from me. And you may notice that Isabel, she dresses well, but quite modestly for someone of her station. You know, there's not a lot of color. There's not a lot of accessories, but everything is well made and very modest. Like 2 degrees away from nunnish, but she's very, you know.
I don't like the degree, sorry. She kind of looks, she inspects you, does her social inspection, up and down, and she's, I think I have the same dress. We must be going to the same seamstress. I think it's quite lovely. You look wonderful, dear.
Thank you, Lady Hilda. I shall go ahead and make my routes. Is there anything that you need? Your name came up quite a bit when we were discussing the recent funding for the orphanage. Were you going to be writing a check again this time, or?
Oh, I'm sure. My money person deals with that.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever touched a check before, dear. It's quite gruesome.
It is indeed. It was so nice to see you again, Lady Hilda.
And she does and her nod to excuse you, and turns, waiting for the next person to arrive. Alexander Pendleton, how do you arrive at the garden party?
Alexander comes, in one hand, flowers for the hostess of the party, and also in his other, a fine glass of wine, impressively expensive.
All right, she sees you, and as you hand her the flowers, she does a small curtsy. Alexander, you're going to spoil an old girl.
Well, it's only polite to have a gift for the hostess of such a lovely party.
Now you're just slathering it on. She hands over the flowers. She goes, what have you been up to?
Oh, attending this party, attending that soiree, making my rounds.
Have you been behaving yourself?
Like the devil himself.
A little laughter leaves before she puts back on her proper face. Well, be sure to behave yourself here. I know you find yourself in many situations.
Oh, of course.
I only say it because I care. She kind of tucks your hand. And she does her nod and moves on, waiting for the next person to come in, which is Alessandra Gatsby.
Hello. Alessandra arrives in a carriage that probably cannot be afforded, but we are going out and seeing people, and they will see me, and so I must arrive in all proper fashion. It is a splendid carriage. I step out. I look like Kim Kardashian if she were Asian. Socialite. She's like the ultimate socialite. So long black hair pinned into an elegant updo, and very, Gucci fashions, and very arched eyebrows as she just surveys everyone, sees Lady Hilda. What is Lady Hilda's relative social standing to me?
To you, she's definitely money-wise, she's up there in this area. She's kind of the top. So in general above you, but your public service as a military woman, it definitely gives you the social push a little bit up.
So I will identify my target, Lady Hilda, and with a broad, cold smile on my face that doesn't quite reach my eyes, I approach Lady Hilda, and I give a deep curtsy, very respectful. Your dress is magnificent. I must learn of where you acquired such gorgeous things.
And she sees your dress, and she sees her dress, and she does, in her mind, believe that she can help you out. In her mind, she's like, I must help this poor woman. And she immediately gives everything. Oh, it's just down the road. You just have to go over, and I'll set you up an appointment sometime if you really, if you need it. I can put my word in for it.
My lady, I am ever so grateful for your generosity and kindness, and for this invitation. I am quite humbled. I thank you. Please enjoy yourself.
And she, as you pass, you can hear her giving the note to her assistant, basically being like, send over the information right now. to her
Yeah,
house.
because I feel like my dress is probably also like a lot more low cut than would be appropriate or acceptable at this time. So, you know, I just think I'm fabulous, but I'm not. And I will then make the rounds to, in order, descending order of people who are higher up than me and greet them.
Yeah, we can see a collarbone. It's really scandalous. So, waiting for the next person to arrive, Jamie Cullen.
Yes, last to arrive, and it's obvious why, as I arrive on foot. Unfortunately, all of my resources are wasted, it feels like, in this particular moment on my attire, as I have a splendid dress on. I'm hoping to outdo everyone here at the party. I may look with some distaste towards Alessandra, but I will forgive her, for we did, after all, share a bond for a while. I will... The dress, by the way, is 100% prim and proper. There is nothing on show here. I am the image of a highborn lady, even though everyone knows it is not true. However, my certain secret relationships do give me invitations to wonderful things. My friendship with Alexander has its benefits and its gifts. I touch the pearls of my necklace. I'll make my way to Lady Hilda.
And she sees you, and she can kind of tell, while you're wonderfully dressed, there is a little dust on your edge of your dress. My dear, did you... She, like, kind of lowers her voice a little bit. Walk?
Yes, unfortunately, I missed the... I missed my ride, and I shoot a sharp glance towards Alexander.
And she's...
Who also walked.
It still looks pretty sharp.
And she looks at you, she goes, well, next time when I send an invite, I'll make sure to send a carriage. I can't have a lady walking through the streets.
Lady Hilda, you do too much, honestly. I would be absolutely fine. My feet are not of no use to me, and I am able to make my way through the streets unbidden and safely. Thank you.
Right, she like kind of fans herself a little bit. The thought of walking the way you did, she's, oh, well, please grab a refreshment. You must need it.
Yes, I fear I may be perspiring ever such a little.
At that thought, you hear a tiny gasp. And as you all are around, maybe refreshments in hand, the layout of this is, it's a small kind of hedge garden with a long table spread throughout. People are mostly walking and talking to each other. Some rose bushes in one corner, a small fountain in the other. And you see kind of probably about 10 other people out and about as you may start your conversations. Is there anyone wants to particularly talk to?
I will make my way to Jamie, who's almost starting to perhaps perspire. The glass, or the wine bottle in hand, I've procured 2 glasses from somewhere, and I'm already pouring 2 drinks, one for me and one for Jamie.
Why, thank you, Alexander. Refreshment is so very needed after the long walk here. Why we could not arrive together, I do not know.
Oh, you did say you wanted space.
Yes, but I did not mean I do not want a carriage.
Fair enough. Noted. Now, if there's anything else I can do for you, I'd of course be happy to.
Yes, perhaps keep your ears open. There could be great opportunities at this party. Every social gathering is an opportunity, Alexander. You realize that, don't you?
I do. That's how I've climbed to where I've gotten so far.
Yes. Yes, indeed. The heights to which you have climbed impress me no end, Alexander.
I mean, considering my father was a pig farmer.
Yes, of course. Your great disadvantages have not slowed you down a whit.
I'm not going to stop here either.
Of course.
Do you stand with Alexander, Jamie?
Not so close as to be obvious that we are more than friends, but I will engage in polite conversation. However, whilst engaging in polite conversation, I'm somewhat an expert of having one conversation but trying to key into what everyone else is doing. I can't help myself. I'm especially interested in Alessandra. After all, I wish to seek her good fortunes again.
Okay. With that, what is
interested.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
We spy each other from across the room, and I pretend not to notice them. But what is Alexander's standing in relation to me? This is going to be a common question, I think.
Where's my standing?
More social standing than physical.
Yeah. So he came from, nothing. Like, father was a pig farmer, but he's managed to kind of climb the social ladder through charm, wit, and bloodthirsty ambition. And he's probably still lower than you, but he's catching up.
I take note of Jamie looking at me, and I do not make eye contact. I take note that they are standing near Alexander, whom I do not acknowledge whatsoever, for they are below me. And I will scan the room for Isabel to see if my love is anywhere near her, for whatever reason she decides to be.
You don't see Victoria around right now. You know that she'd probably get an invite based on her standing, but maybe she hasn't arrived yet.
In that case, I will pass by Jamie and Alexander, definitely not looking at them, but I want to make my presence known.
My gaze follows her.
Drift towards the door to wait near there, hopefully speaking to someone who is of a higher standing than me.
Yeah, you see Lady Hilda's dear niece. Lady Hilda did not have any children. She was widowed quite early. But her niece is due to take all of her money when she passes. Or inherit, I should say. Not ripping it from their hands.
What is her name? The niece?
Her niece is named...
Is it Bernice?
Here.
That'd be great.
Frances.
If she is not occupied in conversation, I will approach.
Lady Frances is actually, if Lady Isabel allows it, in conversation with Isabel, as they would have been maybe not childhood friends, but along the lines of acquaintances, since they're in the same kind of social money standing.
What I am saying, my dearest Francis, is that think of it less as of a burden and more of an opportunity. When my dearest father passed, I knew that there was going to be a lot of eyes on me. The goal is to stay grounded, give to others. It'll be okay. And she's just giving her advice, drinking tea.
And you see this Alessandra, you see them talking, and you see a little bit of champagne in Frances's hand, but she doesn't look like she's holding the glass like she normally has any champagne. She's kind of holding it a little awkwardly, and, like, takes little sips as if she's like unsure of how much to sip or what it's going to do. She looks a little shy.
Would I have known of Isabel and Francis's connection, childhood connection?
You would maybe not know how close they are, or if they are close, but you would know that this is not strange to see them talking. They're probably in the same social standing.
I will drift by, and Lady Frances, it's so lovely to see you, and oh yes, Lady Isabel, always so contrite.
You're looking absolutely radiant today, Alessandra. I am always quite taken aback with the boldness in your fashion. It matches your personality just perfectly. It's like an adventure for the eyes.
You are so kind, Lady Isabel. As you know, I'm from a military background, and fortune does favor the bold.
Yes,
but of course, a more conservative woman will always be ahead.
I think it's less the conservative nature and more just the fate of who was born when to what family, and it's not something I have anything to do with.
You are quite fortunate, Miss Lady Isabel. Lady Frances, I must inquire, what is that champagne that you are drinking? I would love to get a glass for myself.
And she, kind of startles to being actually referred to. She's used to being in the background. And she kind of calls over to, someone who's currently serving champagne. Buxley, and she kind of says it quietly, they don't hear them. And she's trying to say it, and she's like, I'll grab you a glass. I'll be right back. And she goes and grabs you a glass and, hands it to you really quickly.
Oh, my lady, thank you. You do not have to serve one such as me. It is an honor to be given this champagne by you. It is delicious.
It's my first time having it. It's a little hard to drink. It burns my... And she realized that she's starting to be a little improper. About to tell you that she's burning her nose. And she goes, sorry. Please, excuse me. I forget myself.
Oh, not at all, dear Lady Frances. And I'm going to, slide my gaze over to Lady Isabel to see if, she's noticed this oddness.
Isabel just looks concerned, but she's not going to tell someone else what to do. Frances, I do have to say the tea that's been put on is quite delicious today as well. Champagne, it's sort of like when you watch a river bubbling ever so slightly, and the rocks are reflecting under the water, and it's an exciting experience to witness. But then it passes. Tea is more like a steady pond. You can always go back to it and know what we're going to get from it.
And she'll look in between the two of you. Can I presume that Isabel has tea in hand?
Mm-hmm.
And she looks in between your tea, Alessandra's champagne, looks at hers, and she's unsure what to do, so she kind of just sets it down on a garden ledge behind her. I don't think I'm thirsty anymore. Excuse me, I'll be back. And she excuses herself, and you can see her go grab a sandwich and, quickly stress eat it. And, cucumber falls out, and she's just, mortified as she just kind of, scuttles away. Leaving you two standing there.
Oh, Lady Isabel, I do trust that you are in good health.
Yes, I'm blessed to be in good health so far. It's such a beautiful day. Have you had time to go out riding lately in this amazing weather?
I do so love to ride. I did a few laps around the estate yesterday. In fact, I was hoping for some company, and I've left some calling cards with Victoria, but I have not heard from the lady. Do you know if she will be in attendance today?
Victoria. Last I saw Victoria, we were having a discussion about how much to contribute to the nuns that are currently taking up a collection for the orphans, and that has been more than a couple of weeks ago. I do apologize. I wish I could have been of more help. But you know Victoria's never to miss a to-do like this.
I do look forward to seeing her, if she arrives. But enough about that. What, my lady, if you so think I am so bold, what do you make of Alexander and Jamie's acquaintance over yonder? I had not seen them parlaying before at an event such as this, so publicly.
Well, Alexander is not shy. He's one of the sweetest people I've ever met. I'm sure you've seen, well, I'm not as familiar with Lady Jamie, but I'm pretty sure if they are speaking, it's because they have found a conversational topic that delights them both.
I am sure that must be one very interesting topic. If you'll excuse me, my lady.
Of course.
And I just wanted to plant that seed, and now I'm gonna be on my way.
And with that, as you turn, it starts to, you feel something hit your nose, and then another. Oh no, it started to rain. During a garden party, what worse could happen? Quickly, you see everyone else rushing inside, grabbing up their drink and their plate and hurrying in. You see any of the staff quickly cleaning up anything. And you all find yourselves in a tiny parlor. The large parlor simply was not set up for guests. So they set you up in the small parlor. About 20 of you have stayed, some left after it started raining, and you're all in pretty close proximity, more than would it be appropriate, but everyone has to make do. So all of you are in one room together, and Lady Hilda is talking. I'm so sorry. The weather, I thought it would stay for a little bit, but, I can't control it. And she kind of starts making her rounds and talking to everyone, and maybe the four of you aren't talking directly, but you're close enough, and she comes up to you all. Well, are you all going to the ball tomorrow?
There isn't a ball that I would miss for the life of me.
Mm-hmm. And you all know of this ball.
Oh, yes, absolutely, my Lady Hilda. Of course, a ball is a small comparison to a party as lovely as this, even with the rain. But I do look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow as well.
Yes, I know Lady Frances, my dear niece, she's been working on it for weeks.
I am attending because of Frances' involvement, but there's always a ball after another ball, and I usually abstain. You do know me, Lady Hilda. There's just a lot to deal with the estate. But I'll be in attendance. Lady Frances has done such a wonderful job with her planning.
Good. And she turns to Jamie. What about you, my dear?
Well, I would love to attend the ball. Tell me, would Jamie likely have received an invite to this event?
Maybe not a paper one. Like, not the official, but, when you're in a group, I'm like, yeah, everyone should come. And it's more like you've been invited socially. Invite. Yeah, even being told it now, like, you're allowed to go, but you definitely did not receive the nice embossed paper one.
Fantastic. So then, yes, I would certainly love to attend. I don't think I had anything planned for the day. I'll have to buy a new dress. Or maybe a suit.
She like offers her long pass. You can borrow. I'm sure one of my lady maids can make it proper to you if you want to dress, or you can borrow one of my long deceased husband's suits. They don't do anything, they just hang there.
She's like gritting her teeth. They're like gritting their teeth right now, like, no, that'll be fine. I do enjoy going shopping.
Alright. I didn't want to impose upon anyone, strain them. And she, just, I must continue.
The colour has risen in Jamie's cheeks. They are thoroughly embarrassed.
Not looking in their direction, Alessandra will address them and just say, Jamie, how your fortunes must have risen to so afford gown after gown, suit after suit, all of these social events. How far you have come, my old friend.
Also not looking your way, Alessandra, still red in the face, yes, life has been fortunate. I do enjoy shopping over most else, but sacrifices are easy to make when you enjoy the results so much.
Oh yes, I'm sure you must be quite enjoying your new friendship with Sir Pendleton. Quite the friendship.
Yes,
But
and
anyone who will talk.
And I saw that you were eager to spend some time with Miss Isabel, and it seemed so nice that we were all able to get along.
Oh, it's lovely. Lady Isabel is such a prudent figure in my life.
Such a font of wisdom and kindness.
Well, since we are all trapped in this small parlor now, I suppose we shall parley a little bit. Sir Pendleton, why don't you regale us with the story of how you and my former friend Jamie have met? Oh, apologies. My old friend Jamie have met and become acquainted.
Well, as you know, I've managed to go to many social events, and we've encountered each other a number of times at various events. We just happened to strike a conversation today.
Encounters? How lovely. Jamie is always such a social creature, aren't you, Jamie?
I learned from the very best. I do miss our conversations, Alessandra.
Oh, Jamie. Your ways of conversing are ever so eloquent and powerful, and they are missing from my life, but I would not go so far to say as I miss them.
Yes, but of course, I see you too have done some climbing in your recent past. The military must have been very good to you.
Yes, after my brother and father were so successful, I ventured in myself to elevate my status, as I always will. As you know, I am still in the market for marriage, and I would like to make a good match, as we all would.
Yes, of course.
Are there any prospects for you, Jamie? You are still unmarried as of yet, are you not?
Indeed, I feel I still have a little proving to do of my own before I am yet ready to settle in a marriage prospect. I feel I too am not quite ready to settle into my current status.
Man, I want to do an insight check. How does Alexander look when Jamie says that?
Alexander is actually in the process of acquiring a third glass to offer you some of this very, very fine wine. that is almost unbelievable for where he is in social status for him to be have acquired one. A glass.
I accepted that.
And I
Thank
poured.
you, sir.
Fine wine is meant to be shared. Of course, I have this whole bottle. It'd be beside myself if I drank it by myself.
My Lady Isabel, I know that you normally do not partake in much stronger than tea, but this wine is exceptional, sir.
Yes, Alexander has always had amazing taste in things that come from a vineyard.
Which vineyard is this?
The vineyard? It is the Altair vineyard.
Still have to keep this in mind. This is so fragrant, so flavorful. I take another sip.
And as you do, you lift your glass, and out of the corner of your eye, you see someone come in. Everyone having been in this room, they weren't announced. Dripping coat. You see Victoria, someone you all know, as someone to be of kind of, a little upper standing. Not quite as wealthy as you'd say Lady Frances or Lady Hilda. She steps in and drops her hood, and Lady Hilda sees her and frets over her being so drenched. And you hear her say, "Oh, I know, the carriage wheel broke and I had to walk the rest of the way, but I'm fine, I'm sorry to be late." And she gives her jacket off, or her cape, whatever it may be, and she starts to go grab a cup of tea to wear off the chill.
I watch everything, but I don't move. But I am going to slide my eyes over to Jamie for like the fraction of a second of like a very disapproving look, and then it'll like flash away. Okay. Ah, Lady Isabel, your friend Lady Victoria has arrived.
Yes, indeed. Will you please excuse me? I need to make sure there's nothing that she may need in this. She got caught out in the rain. I know she does not live close. I do hope there wasn't trouble with the horses or the carriage and so on. Will you please excuse me? And she's gonna nod politely to everyone and scurry over to where Victoria is with some concern.
She sees you. Oh, Isabel, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
I told you should have stayed at least a couple of days, and then we could have taken the carriage with me as well.
I know, it was quite foolish indeed. And she takes a sip of tea. This will help, though. This and a sandwich. She reaches over, grabs a little finger sandwich. Have I missed much?
No, but Lady Lysandra has been inquiring as to your well-being. I know she would appreciate at least a greeting or an update. She says she hasn't heard from you.
You see, she glances over at Lysandra, and it's not quite a look of happiness. She looks conflicted. She looks kind of like she almost wants to go say hi, but not quite. Wouldn't it be proper? Oh, has she? It's very kind of her. I need to respond to her calling cards. I've lost track of time.
As I've told you, if you let the calling cards all pile up, you start to forget which one came in which day, and then it's a whole pile you have to sort through.
Oh, you're right. I've had quite a few calling cards lately. To be honest, don't consider me too bold. I'm not really quite sure what to do. And I'm saying, she kind of leans in. It's difficult being an eligible lady.
Well, you're telling me. I've thrown many a calling card into the fire. That's just between you and I. But if you require any assistance or interference, do let me know. I am over there with some very good associates. Alessandra, who's always fashion forward. Alexander, you know he's a light of any party we attend. And the so beautiful and fashionable Jamie is over there as as well. I don't know them quite as well, and I didn't want to presume familiarity with someone I've not been properly associated with in quite some time, but after you dry off and calm down, you're welcome to join us.
And she, grabs another sandwich and walks over with you if you walk back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello everyone. I'm terribly sorry to be late. She starts to regale the story again of how the carriage wheel broke and how she had to walk in the rain and it was terrible.
Does sound awful. Here, I know that tea's probably pleasant warming you up, but you probably need something to relax. And 2 more wine glasses, one for Isabel and one for her.
This never-ending wine bottle is great.
I am watching Alessandra like a hawk.
Alessandra has very subtly maneuvered the circle so that she is brushing up against Victoria, but not directly across from Jamie. Just wants to be sort of off to the side. Mm-hmm. Lady Victoria, are you sure that you should be drinking right now? I had heard some troubling things about your health.
Okay. So you are trying to influence her to not drink, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Would you want to use a resolve token to influence her?
Sure.
Alexander, does this interfere with any type of plan you're doing, or are you just being polite?
I'm just being polite, trying to, social lubricant.
Okay. She goes, thank you, Alexander, but, Alessandra is correct. I should probably not. Probably be bad for me. And she notes this care, and she warms up a little bit towards Alessandra.
Well, sorry, I didn't know about any issues. I'll drink on your behalf.
And with that, the garden party continues on. Everyone is clearly very appropriate. Only longing glances in the other, direction. But surely it goes to an end, and you all find yourselves at your appropriate places for the night, which will end the first novel cycle.
I do a little, have a quick chat, perhaps with Isabel before we end this.
Oh yeah, if you totally. If everyone has any moment they would like to talk with someone, we'll give everyone 1 moment each where they can talk to someone they want.
Thank you, Paige. So I will sidle up to Isabel as Alessandra and Alexander are talking with Victoria. I'll be like, just a brief moment, Isabel, if I may.
Of course. I do apologize for not coming over sooner. It's just, there's enough eyes on me and my family already to be inappropriate in public. I just wanted to rush over and tell you how much I loved your outfit.
Why, thank you. It was, it's one of my prized possessions, honestly. I couldn't help but wonder, I know we'd not met very often, and I couldn't help but wonder what your relationship was to Victoria and Alessandra.
Well, I do consider Victoria a good friend, and Alessandra, well, there's a way that people have to be so polite to you that you can tell that it's not as genuine as their smile may intend. But I don't mind.
I know exactly what you mean. When their affectations and eloquency gives away their undercurrent of perhaps ulterior motions, I know exactly what you mean. But Alessandra is such a wonderful woman, really.
She is.
Must forgive her ambitions. She is truly a delight. And do you see the way that she treats Victoria?
Yes, it's amazing, isn't it? I'm glad that Victoria has other people who care about her in her life.
Yes, and it's so nice to see Alessandra offering these kindnesses to someone who is perhaps not as fortunate as her.
Well, as she said before, fortune often favors the bold, and she has boldness in spades. But there's always going to be one or two people that, despite how harsh you may deal with the outside world, provide that little bit of sunlight that you wish to bask in. So,
Indeed. Well, I will follow proceedings with an eager eye. I am very eager to see what develops between the two of them.
may I extend an invite to help me prepare for the ball? Your fashion taste might be what I need to get Lady Hilda and the others from gossiping behind my back about my appearance. I just don't
Of
really care
course.
that much. So,
Lady Isabel, I will teach you some of the few secrets that will enable your wardrobe to really work for you with really the smallest of changes.
I do appreciate that. I'm going to prepare to take my leave, but it was so nice to talk with you. You must leave some calling cards. We must do something exciting soon.
Yes, I very much look forward to it.
All right. And she's going to nod politely and
I would love to have a moment with Illisandra. If I don't mind being so forward, clearly something's happened between you and Jamie.
My eyes will slide over to Victoria and then just subtly lean a little backwards, kind of breaking up the circle a little bit. I don't know if Victoria's gonna take the hint to go away. But I will turn to, oh yes, we used to be such good friends, Jamie and I.
I could hear with the grace in which you drew knives with your tongue.
Well, as a military woman, I know what weapons are in my arsenal and how to use them effectively.
You're quite adept.
Thank you.
So,
I hope that it will not dampen our friendship, my past with Jamie.
I'm friends with everyone.
Wine will do that. Cheers. So may I inquire, privately, of course, I don't want to be too toward, but has Jamie mentioned anything to you about me?
Regret.
Or falling out?
No details, simply that Jamie wishes that they could restore what was.
Well, you know what they say. You can spend a lifetime making deposits in the trust bank, but one wrong deposit and the whole treasury is emptied. Perhaps we will reconnect at some point, but I do not see it anytime soon. Not at least until I have succeeded in my ends.
And what would that be that you need to succeed in before you could ever consider repairing the bridge, or allowing Jamie to repair the bridge?
Good sir, my ends are the same as any marriageable young woman my age. We must marry. We must find a partner. I have one in mind that I would most like to make that arrangement with, but if not them, then perhaps someone else of an appropriate standing.
You can tell.
Oh, well, sir, we all must have some of our own secrets, do we not? Knowing look.
You know, secrets are a fantastic currency in this environment.
Currency. I do so like to speak of currency. Shall we trade currency? I will tell you my desire for an intended if you will divulge some equal currency for my treasury.
Fair enough.
Who shall go first?
I whip out a wedding band. I've given this to somebody already. I think you know who.
Sir, I must say, I do not know. I might have some guesses.
And I just kind of give a glance towards Jamie. Need I say more?
My eyes follow, and my eyebrow arches, and I look away again. Ah, well then, in that case, even more so, I hope that my past with Jamie will not affect our current relationship. I will trade you a coin in kind, and I'm assuming Victoria's just gone away somewhere. I'll just sort of like lean up knowingly against Alexander, and then like direct with my eyes and a minute tilt of my head. It is not the most conventional pairing, but I do find her enthralling.
So, if things were to work out between you and Victoria, you might see it in your heart to allow Jamie to forgive. Or not forgive. You would be willing to forgive Jamie given proper recompense.
Yes, I would reconcile with my old friend if the wishes of my heart were desired, but the wishes of my heart were fulfilled. Unfortunately, some of Jamie's actions have led to my wishes being set farther back. So we shall see.
Then your wish is my command.
I like the sound of that, Sir Pendleton.
Alessandra, would you have anyone you would like to talk to?
I don't want to talk to anybody, but I feel like during this conversation with Alexander, I'm like watching Jamie and Isabel talk over there, and my brain is like, man, that Isabel is always making those people I like. And so I'm just going to like note that.
Okay.
That a new alliance might be forming behind my back.
I like how quickly this has become Regency Game of Thrones. Isabel, do you have anyone you would like to talk to?
No, just a passing nod to Alexander.
Wow. So, with that, we will move on from this novel and go to our next cycle, the reputation cycle. So, if everyone looks at the character page, we will start with that. So on this, everyone has their reputation tags. So while looking at all of them, if you feel like you have completed one of them or acted in a way that would make you, for Jamie, for example, if you acted in a way that you would think people would think you're rich now, you could bold that and add that to your reputation. Everyone gets to add anything that they feel their character has either done, positive or negative, and bold that. And now you are known for that as well.
Do we talk through this process or do we do it privately?
You totally can. You can just tell me what you think you've done to have earned a new tag. And I will not question it. It's earned.
I think through her actions and conversation with Isabel especially, but I think that Jamie, I think they might be considered a little more industrious.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I think Alessandra is going to take a forthright, because it was forthright with a price, but still I said something.
Indeed.
I'd like to think that Alexander would have proven himself to be open with Alessandra, even though he does still know the value of secrecy, he's proven that he also knows when he can be open with people and is able to portray that.
Okay.
I think Isabel would make sense based on what was just uncovered. She's quite well connected in her humble, quiet way. She seems to know everybody.
Indeed. I would, yes, that is very appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and everyone relatively behaved themselves. So let's see if that continues to happen. And let's go to the rumor and scandal phase. So on the bottom, there's another page of that next to the character sheet. That's rumor and scandal. So, well, I forgot to add it from the get-go. We do know that there's a rumor that Jamie has wronged Alessandra. How would we phrase that rumor, Jamie?
Definitely that Jamie was in the wrong. And certainly that the details are somewhat hidden still. But I think Jamie having wronged Alessandra in the past will definitely have slipped out, and perhaps it may have had something to do with her affections. Not necessarily naming who, but one of those things where, best friend gets in the way of love, sort of.
So now everyone, if we start with Honey, everyone can currently there's one rumor, it's already spread. So everyone's going to be able to, for the first round, create or spread a rumor. So currently, Honey, because there's only one spread rumor, you may create a rumor, not as your character, but as the Ton. You are the community gossiping about your own characters.
Oh my goodness.
And then you don't have to make it about your own, but just in general.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think with the seeds planted by Alessandra and Alexander's openness, I have a feeling that a rumor may well start up about Jamie and Alexander, much to my own personal dismay.
Jamie and Alexander, and I am literally typing out the emoticon heart. So then if we're starting with Scrat, we'll go next to Lily.
I did mention that I had heard that Victoria wasn't in good health. So I think perhaps a rumor about her not being well, and also me having a strong interest in that.
Brings us to Justin.
With Alexander carrying around an incredibly expensive bottle the entire party, I believe there would be some rumors circulating about him stumbling into some new wealth.
I like the expression stumbling into love. Like it was a wall he didn't see there.
Which now, Honey?
Does it have to be a rumor about a character, a player character, or can it be a rumor about someone they've interacted with?
Someone you've interacted with, yeah.
Okay, I think she would probably, a rumor that might start spreading is that Lady Frances has an eligible status. that doesn't quite match her meek personality.
Okay. And then, because we had ended with you, you get the first round of going back. So you can either create another rumor or spread another one. And spreading, what it does is it kind of doesn't make it true. It just makes people think it's true and gives it a resolve token that anyone can use if they pull this rumor into play.
I want to spread the Victoria has health issues and Alessandra is concerned.
Okay, that has been spread. Which brings us back to Justin.
I think that I'm going to go ahead and spread the wealth one. Or do we need to? Okay. Or do
No,
we
you
need
can
to
totally.
spread? Okay.
Yeah, you get to spread or create. Lily.
I'm going to create a new rumor that Lady Isabel has not been so concerned about her friend Lady Victoria's health and has been almost cold about it. That's my woman.
All right, Scrat, you may spread or create.
Thank you very much for the raid, Tall Skull. Welcome in.
Hey, everyone.
And all of you lovely people. So, I want to double down and embellish on the rumor that Alessandra is concerned for Victoria. And I want to double down and spread that perhaps there's a little more than concern going on there.
You meddler, you.
I'm such a meddler.
So you want to make it so the concern is out of, perchance, love?
The concern is
Instead.
certainly... I would like to spread the rumor that there was a look in Alessandra's eyes when she looked at Victoria, unlike one she has had with any other person to this date.
Aw, that's kind of nice.
The beauty of being a meddler.
Yeah, I might So I'm going to manage the rumor, because it's kind of partially already created.
Mm-hmm.
And say that Alessandra was exceptionally alarmed, and we all know why.
Yes.
Mute. That's fine. Use my
Come
mechanical
true.
keyboard.
Clickety clackety.
Mm-hmm.
All right, which now brings us to the letter writing phase. So everyone has the option of writing up to two letters to another connection or basically any NPC or another character. But I do want to say beforehand, because I forgot to fully state this, everyone has a monologue token, which is one of my favorite things about Good Society. At any point, you can drop the monologue token on another player. You have one to use every cycle, and you can make it more pointed and ask what their opinion is on something, or you can just let them speak their mind in the moment and they give their honest thoughts of their character. It is absolutely ridiculous. A letter. It's an awesome pin. But we'll proceed with the letter writing. Does anyone have a letter they want to write? Okay, Alexander.
Okay. First off, I'm going to write a letter to Jamie. Dearest Jamie, after having a conversation at our garden party, and further conversation with Alessandra, your old friend, I've come to a conclusion to show you how to prove my worth. while I don't know entirely what has caused you to distance yourself, I am determined to restore your friendship with Alessandra in order to prove my worth to you. With all my love, Alexander Pendleton.
Can I instantly respond to that letter? Can I write a response?
Oh yeah, you can write a response.
And I will write, Dearest Alex, I fear my distancing is out of necessity. For, of course, I must have a chance to redeem myself before we make our situation public. I cannot have you risking your reputation on providing airs and graces to a commoner. With regards to Alessandra, that is in the past, and I am working on restoring it, but I need time, and I believe Isabel may be the key. Have you heard the recent rumors about Alessandra and Victoria? Most interesting.
Started those rumors.
Yes, and those rumors immediately go into play. So any rumor that is there, the ones that are spread are it is the hot gossip around town right now. But the other ones are kind of faint whispers on the wind, and will go away after this letter writing. So, who else has a letter they would like to write?
I would like to write a letter. Did you say we have 2 letters or 1 letter?
Yeah, you have up to 2.
Okay, so I'm going to write 2. My first letter will be to Victoria.
Mm-hmm.
How to words? Sorry, I just had a flash of this being modern times, and I would just text you up ? But no, these are different times. My dearest Victoria, I am remiss while writing you this letter because I must know if you have heard these rumors about my feelings towards you. If you have so heard these rumors, I would like you to know that I do care very deeply for you and hope that feeling is reciprocated. Maybe not to the full extent, but perhaps someday. If you have not heard these rumors yet, I would have you know that there are rumors that I care very deeply for you, and I have just confirmed that I do so care very, very deeply. However, I wish you to know that this is a genuine love born from my heart, and I wish you nothing but the best, and am here at your service for whatever you or your heart desire. Sincerely, Lady Alessandra, aka the most confused, awkward love letter ever. Do you like me? If you don't, that's cool, but I
check yes.
Yeah. Maybe. And Lady Frances is throwing the ball tomorrow, yes?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I will write a letter to Lady Frances because there was a rumor about her that she is eligible. I will write a letter, and my dear Lady Frances, it was a pleasure making your acquaintance yesterday at the garden party, although I am very disappointed that we did not get to speak more. As you may know, I am a very bold and forward woman from my military background and training, and I find your innocence to be quite attractive, and I do so enjoy your company from the moments that we have spent together. I hope that we will find more opportunities to get to know each other at your ball tomorrow. With love, Alessandra.
Did you say we get 2 letters?
Yeah, you get up to 2.
Cool.
And those are my letters.
Yeah. Does Isabel have anything she wants to write?
Yes, I have 2 letters, but the first one is going to Jamie.
Ooh, okay.
Good. My letter was going to be to you too. Let's.
All right. So this first letter, just impeccable penmanship. You can tell it's handwritten. She didn't dictate it to anyone else. My new friend, I am writing you to arrange a formal meeting between yourself and my good friend Lady Frances. The poor dear has a loving spirit, a delicate constitution, and the rigors of social demands based on her station she often finds unsettling. The confidence you display in both presentation and manners would do much to aid her in preparing for the responsibility that will soon be on her shoulders. As you may know, she is Lady Elder's heir, and I worry introducing her to the wolves that roam around with lambs in our social circles. This is a lot to ask, I know, but I feel you are someone I can trust with this responsibility. Be by her side at the ball if you dare. And again, it was so nice to make your acquaintance.
Jamie is going to read this and immediately read between the lines as the meddler that they are and assume that Isabel, who I imagine they know is a bit of a matchmaker, that's why they were trying to set them on Victoria and Alessandra, is trying to matchmake Jamie with Lady Frances and what a to do. Right. Okay, so I will return a letter to Isabel.
I love this.
Dearest Isabel, it is fantastic that you have taken such an interest in Lady Frances and looking out for her better graces. I happen to know just the person who would be the perfect match for them. It is, of course, well, although it is perhaps bold of me to assert someone from perhaps a lower stature into this equation, you'll find my sibling Willow full of whimsy and delights, and perhaps may make a better match than anyone else, perhaps currently at hand. I will gladly speak with her at the party. As for your outfit recommendations, you will find that many outfits, though plain seeming, can be dressed up with just a little lace or a little embroidery, and perhaps it would be pleasant one afternoon for us to sit and do such. You must have heard the rumours about Alessandra and Lady Victoria, and I wonder if you had put any thought into what possibilities may grow in that otherwise... Long pause over the pen.
Ellipses.
In that otherwise cold and military field. Send.
Awesome.
Send tweet.
Literally tie it to a pigeon, send it out the window.
I can work with this. Hang on.
And did someone else have a second letter before I do my second letter?
I'll do another letter. This one is going to be to Alessandra. Dearest Alessandra, it was an absolute pleasure to make your acquaintance at the last garden party. As per our conversation, I have arranged for a carriage for you, Victoria, Jamie, and myself. Perhaps before the ball even starts, we can have some wonderful conversation. Sincerely, Alexander.
All right. I don't reply because that would use a letter, I think.
Yes, it would use a letter, but you know this information. So, Isabel, your second letter.
My second letter is to Victoria. My dearest friend, it so worried me and caused me such distress to see you doing so poorly at Lady Hilda's party. It did, however, brighten my spirits to see the immediate concern of Lady Alessandra. I know of your hesitance in the past, or at least the appearance of hesitance when I have mentioned her. You also are concerned about your eligibility. She has to start writing several times because she misspelled the word. Your eligibility into... As your friend, if you can see past the cold, almost terrifyingly well-groomed exterior of Lady Gatsby, you may find a small, simmering spark of care and compassion that she may not show anyone else. You know me, I only speak plainly to my friends. Your friend, Isabel.
Can I reconfirm who that one was to?
Victoria.
Okay, I thought so. I just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
So there are 2 letters from the connections here. We're gonna start with Lady Frances, who sends one to Alessandra. And she writes, Lady Alessandra, I'm so unsure of my feelings and whatever this may be. I'm feeling a lot of pressure right now. It's gone around town that I'm eligible. I'm not used to such attention. It's a little overwhelming, but not as overwhelming as the words you said to me. I'll see you at my ball. And she signs it, and you can see hands are shaky this entire time. Your friend, Lady Frances.
OMG, friend zoned already.
You can see it's a little scribbled, she didn't know what to address.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have our second letter from Victoria to, I'll say it's going to be Victoria to Isabel.
Now I answered my calling cards.
And she writes, Isabel, life has just gone awry. I don't know what to do. I've heard rumors, and it's awful. They say that you don't care for my friendship anymore. You don't care for my health. And I know that can't be true. I just received your letter. But then I hear such confliction. Does Victoria still really have feelings for me after I made that gaffe? In assuming that Victoria is the one that Jamie dashed the hopes with. This is the love.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that you both know, having been the 2 that were a part of this, Jamie may have encouraged, and tell me if this is all right, Scrat, encouraged an extra glass or 2 of champagne at a gathering. Not a huge one, so not everyone saw. And maybe she made a fool of herself. Not enough with her standing that she's completely outcast, but she definitely has a little asterisk next to her name in the social standings.
I'd like to think it was right before an important business deal or something, and her father or mother lost a love.
Yeah, it made some gaffe, which made it clear that she could not be married anytime soon, because then it would just be a patching of her mistake. I have to tell you, Isabel, I made a huge mistake. You might have heard of it. I maybe got a little too imbibed, maybe a little too much at a gathering, and I'm sure I've ruined it with Alessandra, but did you see the way she looked at me? I don't know how to do this. I don't know if I could ever earn the respect of society again. Please, do help me at the ball. I don't know what to do. And she writes it, your dearest friend. And you can see there's a splatter of ink as she's written it so hastily and so deeply. It's kind of scarred the paper a little bit. Dearest friend, Victoria. doesn't help if you mute yourself when you start speaking. We are done with the letter writing phase, and we are going to move on to the next novel phase.
May I request a quick break as we're about halfway through? Seems like a good
Oh,
spot.
thank you. I totally forgot. Absolutely.
I just figured before we moved on, I thought that would be a perfect spot for us to take a
I
quick
got
5-minute break.
passionate about it.
You did, and who can blame you? This is so juicy, right? So everyone, we're gonna take 5 minutes. We're gonna dip away, take a bio, grab a drink, stretch our legs. If you are sitting at home a lot at the moment, maybe because of social distancing or something like that, you should do the same. If you've been sitting down for a while, perhaps since the start of the show, take a break with us, stretch your legs. We will see you in 5 minutes. And this time, I definitely do not need to stall because I have set up the scene already. Back in 5 minutes, bye!
Bye.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a fantastic break. We certainly did. We're going to launch right back into the next novel. I hand over to Paige.
Yes. So, with this, we are about to have a ball at Lady Frances, a recently known as very eligible bachelorette, I guess. And there's a lot of desires that are going to come into play in this. So, with that, everyone is at the ball doing some activity, and we'll go around and say what everyone's doing. So, starting the opposite way, Isabel, how are you dressed and what are you doing at this ball right now where there's food, drink, dancing, music is just filling the room?
So you do see Isabel has changed out her usual dark grays and so on to a lighter gray, almost silver-like evening gown. And when she does dress in the recent fashions, you see she is, quite the attractive, young, eligible young lady. Her dark hair has been arranged in this beautiful hairstyle, and she's got her jewelry and her gloves and so on. A little bit of lace at the recommendation of Jamie, who probably had to talk her into. It's okay for part of your arm to show. It's supposed to in that dress. But you see that she's dressed and probably there with hopefully her younger sibling, and looking around to see if anyone has brought their younger sibling so they can go off do the young sibling thing. As she mingles and is polite, and there's probably a couple of Lady Isabel, and she's like, yes, and going around. So.
All right. Alexander.
Well, first thing I guess I would want to know is, did Elisandra and Victoria and Jamie accept the carriage that I arranged to ride in together?
Let's start with our major characters.
After the debacle at the last party, I would have said yes.
I would have... Tough call. Yes, with hesitancy.
And then Victoria. Because there was an invite, and she's unsure of her feelings. Indeed, she is there a little bashful towards Alessandra, unsure of how to act during this time. But she did show up.
And if I may be so bold, I arranged the seating arrangement where it's, two facing, two. And so it'd be, if I'm looking straight ahead, I would be looking at Victoria. Jamie would be looking at Elisandra. Victoria and Elisandra are sitting next to each other. A little close, possibly.
All right. Okay, so you all arrive together, and you enter the ballroom. You've all been introduced. Alexander, how are you dressed? What are you doing?
So I'm terrible at knowing what these period clothes are called, but it's like a black long coat, fancy, with like a white. And you know what? If you've seen the Pride and Prejudice movie, what Mr. Darcy's wearing in the ball scene.
I don't want to admit how often I've seen that, but yes.
Ace, did you just swoon?
I did. Ooh, where's my fan? All right. What are you doing as you're at the start of this ball?
At the start of the ball, I'm going to, of course, greet our hostess with my traditional flowers because I am a flower slut.
All right. Okay. You're greeted as normal. Alessandra, having arrived, what are you wearing and what do you do?
So I am wearing a very poofy powder blue dress that I would have acquired from the recommendation of Lady Hilda yesterday. So my décolletage is higher, but you can still see my collarbone. It's like here instead of like here, you know, because Alessandra. Lots of lace, lots of frills. I basically look like a wedding cake. I'm assuming it was a pretty awkward carriage ride, just from the sounds of it. So,
Yeah.
Gosh, how is she gonna play this right now? She is sort of what would be the vibe that I'm getting from Victoria right now? Like unsure, happy.
The whole carriage ride, Jamie would have been trying to start conversations with Victoria and talking up Alessandra.
That probably helps. You say that she looks happy to see you, but she's very nervous, is what you're feeling from her.
Okay. So I'm just gonna sort of turn to her and say, my dear Lady Victoria, why don't I go and get us some drinks? You seem to be a bit on edge. Would you prefer tea? Would you prefer wine, champagne?
And when you say wine, she kind of blanches a little bit and she goes, tea, please. Sorry,
Of course,
yes,
my
tea,
dear.
thank you.
Please stay in good hands with Sir Pendleton and Jamie. Long, heavy look. Me. Be well. And
Smile.
I'm going to go and fetch us some tea, but I also want to, maybe after Alexander has moved away from Lady Frances, I would like to approach Lady Frances, thank her for the invite, but also kind of like super low-key flirt, like real low-key, like, oh, you look lovely, this party is lovely.
Okay. So we'll definitely get to this. We'll get Jamie's apparel and what Jamie is doing.
Jamie's attire was funded by a certain benefactor, and they have come prepared for the battle that they intend to do in a double outfit, which is not only for the battle they see this ball as their only opportunity to make themselves known at this ball, but also in the hopes of impressing Alessandra. They are wearing a large leather pauldron, a tailored suit to their bodice, and doublet-style breeches with buckled shoes.
Very fancy. And what are you doing at the beginning of this ball as you arrive?
I am hovering close to Lady Victoria. I'll be trying not to hang around with Alexander so much, as I fear I still have some proving to do. But I may. Oh yeah, no. I'm gonna talk to Victoria. Talk to Victoria.
Okay. So let me start back up at the top and go. Isabel, who are you trying to talk to during this time? And I'll go back down.
Well, she was going to try to, she's keeping an eye out for Jamie, hoping that the willow that they mentioned would be there.
I would have brought her along.
Okay.
Not in the carriage with us, but she'd be arriving.
Be right behind it.
Yeah. Arrived with your parents, maybe.
Yeah, and looking for Lady Frances to stop being as hounded. She's a little bit mother henning because it's a lot of introductions that Lady Frances is having to go through. But waiting for a moment so that she can go make formal introductions between the two.
You definitely see that, and anyone who looks at Lady Frances or has gone trying to talk to her sees that there's quite the crowd around her. And people you've never seen her talk to before, all around her age, somehow all within marriaging age of what her age is. You know, she's early 20s, and she does look overwhelmed. So she'll appreciate your approach.
Yeah, but I don't want to curtail whatever everyone else was planning to do, but Isabel is heading over to do her mother henning, and but in a gracious, protective way.
Okay. And then, Alexander, you said you were You were going. What did you want to do? You wanted to.
I mean, after I was done greeting her with the flowers, I was actually going to move on to Isabel to talk to her.
Okay, so you see Isabel kind of slowly making her way over towards kind of your general direction, but you can, like, not towards you, but you can intercept and talk to Isabel. So you're approached by Alexander.
Lady Isabel, it's been too long.
Well, too long since we've seen each other, too long since we've had a proper conversation.
Proper conversation. We did see each other at the garden party. Unfortunately, time got away from me. No.
Yes, is there something pressing, Alexander? Lady Frances looks like she is just being swarmed, like a piece of meat in the middle of a field of crows.
I'll let you get to that, but maybe perhaps we can share a dance later.
I would not be opposed to a dance with you, Alexander, you know. But perhaps you can be of assistance as well, unless you are otherwise occupied. I need to make a formal introduction between Lady Frances and a very special young individual I'm hoping to meet tonight as well.
Yes, I can certainly help. I've got nothing pressing at the moment.
All right. So moving on from that and this promise of a dance and this introduction, we are going to move on over to Alessandra, who was, I believe, going to Lady Frances to flirt, but very subtly.
So I'm actually going to retcon that just a little bit. I am going to approach Lady Frances, but seeing that she's being swarmed with suitors right now, I am going to play it the way I do. And I wrote her a very warm and kind of flirtatious letter yesterday, but today I am going to play into my aloof reputation. And I don't know how this works, but I would like to use my aloofness to further gain her interest, but also hoping that Lady Victoria sees my aloofness to this very eligible bachelorette and perhaps will take note of my disdain.
Okay, yeah, totally. So you'll remove your aloof tag, but at this moment, I'm assuming you kind of, she's looking around, she's very overwhelmed, and she sees you and her eyes light up, and then she kind of recoils a little bit as she realizes she has not caught your eye.
Yes, I do a perfunctory greeting, the usual thank you for the invitation and this and that, but I do it with a standoffishness.
All right, okay. And Victoria, who was, waiting for, you were going to bring her tea, I believe, waiting for her tea, she sees that you approach. She sucks in her breath a little bit, and then relief. You're not clearly hitting on her like everyone else is. So, yes. She definitely notes that. There's a little note here. And then Jamie. What are you trying to do?
I am going to be talking to Lady Victoria, of course. Lady Victoria, I say the grapevine has been very fortuitous recently. Have you heard some of the rumors going around? Knowing full well one of the biggest ones is about her.
She, yes, rumors, quite terrible. People just talk and talk.
Yes, they can be willing to talk, but, I find the rumors quite enlightening. I think, while many find enjoyment in books, I say there's no greater pleasure than the folly of real life. Tell me, I heard a little rumor about yourself.
And knowing that there's multiple rumors, she goes, oh, have you?
Well, I heard that perhaps your companion joining us to this little ball might have been sweet on you. I can't help but wonder if you're sweet in return.
Are you going to use a resolve token? from
yes.
the rumor?
Yes.
Okay. Seeing that, it's clear. Somehow everyone is seeing that Alessandra has feelings for her. She blushes, raises her fan. Oh, it'd be improper to speak on such things, but she is quite captivating, isn't she? She flutters a little bit. Oh, I don't know. What about yourself? Do you have your eye on anyone?
I would hate to be beginning a new rumor, but I heard another rumor going around about dear Alexander Pendleton. He's come into quite some money recently. I can confirm that. I know it's true.
Oh.
Well, I helped secure that new money. My industriousness combined with his sweet, open reputation for business makes to be a wonderful pairing. Yes, I've used the rumor. I've used, everything.
Okay, so you're going to use your industrious tag?
Industrious tag, the wealthy rumor, some of,
Okay.
Justin's tags over there as well. He can seem quite dangerous, you see, without the proper accompaniment.
Okay.
Quite the meddler.
It's so funny.
All
So
these
you can
resources belong to me.
You can unbold your industrious tag, and you're using the stumbling into woe. She looks at you, and she sees you in a little bit of a new light, seeming you to be quite clever. Well then, are you thinking that you might set your eyes upon Sir Alexander?
Oh, it would not be proper. Not until I have asserted myself and my reputation as suitable for a person of such his stature is. But I may ask the same of you. Have you set your eye on Alessandra?
I don't know if if it's all right, I'll probably say, if you both agree, that Victoria doesn't know that Jamie's the one who's dashed her. She remembers it, but she doesn't blame Jamie. But doesn't really
Makes
recognize that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
don't know if
Jamie
you heard.
knows. She remembers everything.
You totally know.
They remember.
Jamie, I don't know if you heard. I embarrassed myself a while ago, and I don't know if I'm quite worthy of such a bold and daring creature.
My dearest Lady Victoria, let me tell you that I am quite the expert when it comes to rumors and machinations behind the scenes, and that little debacle was of little to no note and lasted only a few weeks. You are more than a match for Lady Alessandra, if you wish to be so.
And she neither confirms nor denies, but fans a little bit, and she goes, you're quite clever. You might not have she kind of behind the fan talks, the name expected to marry such a man, but you definitely have the wit. She kind of leans back, giving her societal approval, which might be a little bit less than, say, Lady Hilda or Francis at this moment. Definitely holds weight in this group.
Building blocks, stepping stones.
Indeed. And with that, Isabel, are you having made it over to Francis yet?
I certainly hope so.
Mm-hmm.
But she's kind of standing back because she's just trying to make an introduction. So she doesn't quite know what Willow looks like or who they are or so on. So it's just looking around for Jamie to get some guidance or direction here.
Now, I was accompanying you, correct?
Yes.
And your goal was to get rid of the suitors?
To get rid of the suitors and introduce Lady Francis to Willow.
Whom
We're trying to
Alexander
make a
would be
moment
familiar.
here.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take care of the suitors. And I'll free things up for you, and then perhaps we can have that dance.
Could I use, if it's all right with Alexander, one of my resolve tokens? Because I have them too. You have been known as eligible lately. It's even been used this time. Can I direct the attention to you?
Sure.
And you can totally deny it for any record of this game. It is all about your choice.
No, you can. We'll go with it.
Okay. So as soon as Alexander says this, Isabel, Alexander, you go to distract and people see you. Oh, and it just suddenly voices, Alexander, hello. Had you have a drink? Who's on your dance card? And people just start flitting about you and pondering about this new wealth and asking and wondering, and you suddenly have a lot of eligible people around you wondering what has been happening and distracting.
Well, you see, let's continue this conversation by the bar. I could use a drink. I'm a little thirsty.
And the crowd, somewhat like gnats, follow you buzzing to the bar.
Isabel just watches for a second and is reminded why this didn't work out in the past. Like for a moment, she's just like, it's like being a heavenly body drawn to a sun. Eventually, you just get tired of going in the circles and seeing all the other heavenly bodies. Lady Frances, my dearest friend, you look gorgeous, beautiful tonight. Come.
Can I use a monologue token there to
Yes.
have her monologue about this whole sun and celestial bodies thing? Because I want to hear this.
So how does this work?
So Justin has kind of directed it towards hearing this about being the old flame.
Mm-hmm.
So just giving, as you watch Alexander go, just, maybe talk about your history and just thinking about the moments you've gone through and the moment it ended or whatever you think your character would think about.
So Isabel in that moment is reminded of how it was a whirlwind. It was a fun. You go to parties, there's attention, there's, always, he's so sweet, he's so open, people love him. But her desire to live a quieter type of life, she never saw that working out. And then when she became the heiress, this was going through her mind, she had so much responsibility, she wouldn't have wanted to weigh anyone down with that. So there's some regret, but also some relief there. That's what she meant by a sun, just shining so brightly, but not feeling like she would have been the appropriate heavenly body to circle it.
I love it.
So, am I still nearby, Francis? Could I be?
Yeah, I would say that you were nearby. You probably didn't get, your intentions are elsewhere. You probably didn't, unless you want to say otherwise, get swept up in the whole fever of Alexander.
Mm-hmm. Well, I always have my eye on Isabel because she is my rival, so I would have been tracking her movement, seeing her go towards Francis, and then light bulb. I would like to insinuate myself in this conversation, if I may. And, because I was like there, but like not there, and I sort of slide in and, Lady Isabel, I have never heard you speak such glowing praises of anyone. Sir Pendleton must be quite the match, quite the eligible bachelor.
Lady Alessandra, you look beautiful today. It is almost as though you were dressed with someone with slightly different taste, but you can pull off anything you ever wear. It's quite amazing. Alexander and I are good friends. We will have always been good friends, and we will always be good friends. He's the sort of friend that you appreciate when they are close by, admire when they're far away, and wish only the best for. Is there something I can help you with, Lady Alessandra? I'm supposed to be making introductions, and I think I'm far behind.
Oh, Lady Isabel, of course. Whatever you need to do, please go ahead. I just thought an idea has just occurred to me that I have recently heard rumor that Lady Frances is eligible. And if Sir Pendleton is such a great match, I think that it would be quite interesting to perhaps introduce them together. Lady Frances, you know that I am such a fan of you, and all that you do, and your demeanor and your look is just outstanding. I am honestly quite infatuated, but I think perhaps I am not the match for you. So, all flippery aside, basically, mechanically, what I would like to do is I would like to use my forthright reputation tag, and I am hoping to accomplish pushing Lady Frances into making an introduction with Alexander, perhaps confessing feelings or something of the sort, and embarrassing herself because Alexander's attentions are elsewhere. And with the lady of the ball making such a fool of herself, perhaps my Lady Victoria would feel less embarrassed about her previous mistakes. So that's the long play. Long play. I don't know what tools I have at my disposal, but I am using that forthright tag.
So, if Isabel agrees, or Honey for Isabel agrees, but you can say yes, but, or no. If you say yes, or yes, but, and had a stipulation to it, you can either comply, or you can not comply and be honest as to why you're not.
So Alessandra is trying to get Lady Frances to make a spectacle of herself.
I believe so.
And what would I be complying or not complying with?
I guess you're trying to get her to set up Alexander with her, or sorry, can you tell me again?
Yeah, I hadn't really expected Isabel to be involved, but essentially if Isabel is involved, what I would hint at is, Isabel, you're trying to hook up your girl Frances? What about with this guy over here? He's so eligible and new money, So that would be like the surface play.
Okay. I don't see if there's anything Isabel could do with that to stop it, but there are some things she could do to play into her part. But yeah, let's see how this goes.
Okay. So using the forthright, what do you say in response to this? Either why you think it's indeed probably a good idea or not, or why you don't want to.
This is talking to Frances, giving her advice on what to or not to do.
Responding to Alessandra's comment about the pairing.
Frances and, okay. If Lady Frances is interested in a life that would bring quite a bit of limelight with it, again, Alexander is quite the charismatic individual, I would not stand in her way to keep her from pursuing such things. I do, however, feel it's important for people to meet several people and to find matches that make them feel comfortable. So, Lady Frances, if you would like a formal introduction to Lord Alexander Pendleton, I'm sure that can be arranged, but it's always your choice.
Of course, Lady Frances, Lady Isabel. I say what I see. That is perhaps a downfall or perhaps a boon to my personality, but I cannot help but notice just sparks. And the way he looked at you, Lady Frances, when he approached, oh my.
So y'all hear a little change in the music. And a little round is going to get started. Everyone can pick a dance partner. With this being said, and maybe make your desires known to whoever you want it to be. You You will be switching partners though, and you can use your tokens to say who you want to dance with.
Well, my first dance, of course, will have to be with my love, Victoria.
Okay.
Can I monologue token her?
Oh, you totally can. Absolutely.
Okay.
I love it.
After planting my little seeds with Isabel and Francis, I will take my leave to begin the round and approach Victoria, gently laying a hand on her elbow, and she says, "My dear, you look so lovely. I would be remiss if I did not have this dance with you."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I bring her tea, because I forgot to do that earlier.
We'll say she's totally forgotten about the tea. She's caught up in the heat of the moment. And as you bring it to her, so typically inner monologues are not out loud, but you get to hear it as a person. She sees you. You've brought her some form of refreshment, and this dance is about to get started. Oh, couldn't she ever forgive me? I embarrassed myself terribly. A woman of honor. And I was so terrible. I had that second glass of champagne and I laughed so ridiculously, embarrassed myself in front of everyone. Oh, mother and father approve. Surely in her regalia, military regalia, they would fall head over heels as I think I have myself. I don't know how to push this forward. She's so bold. Maybe I need to be bold. I don't know. Maybe during this dance. And as she takes your hand, you feel it's a firmer grip than you've ever felt from Victoria. And the dance begins. So, Alessandra, you're going to be dancing with Victoria. Alexander, who do you want to dance with?
Initially, Isabel, because I've already asked her to have a dance.
Mm-hmm. Isabel, you agree?
It depends. Did Francis seem interested at all in the possibility of meeting Alexander?
I would say that she is overwhelmed with the attention and doesn't really know who to dance with.
Okay.
I'd say, unless anyone disagrees, you currently find her about to dance with the local reverend as a beacon of honor and hope. This reverend, the first dance has been given to him to be proper.
Isabel is all about that life. So she's just like, all right, she's Francis in good say. And she looks at Alexander and says, "Shall it be like old times for just a moment?"
It's like old times for a moment.
Jamie, who are you going to dance with in this moment?
Well, all of my main players are taken for the first dance. I fully intend on dancing with Alessandra. Whether there is a scene or not, I care no longer. However, for the time being, I will look askance across the room. I see that Lady Francis is tied up with the Reverend. Isabella is dancing with my love, Alexander, and Alessandra is dancing with Lady Victoria, which is exactly as I wish it to be. So perhaps I will look around for the esteemed Lady Hilda.
And she has not been taken yet. So you've made dance with Lady Hilda. So for the sake of time, I'm going to say this is the heat of the ball. The music is just carrying you away with gentle tingles as you're making your rounds. You kind of have, it is a round, so you have kind of a moment to say what you want to say. And you'll dance twice. Well, you'll dance with two people and have 2 moments with them. So you'll have a moment to say what you want and then solidify it. So starting with Alessandra, because you have so swept away Victoria, hand in hand.
So the full play hasn't played out yet, but Alessandra is ready to reap what she has sown. And feeling that firmer grip on her hand, Alessandra will hold her tightly and almost as if she was whispering, but more just to be a little, to lean down to whisper in her ear, but kind of nuzzle her neck a little bit and just say, "My dear Victoria, I know that perhaps you feel embarrassed about what has happened before in the past. And I don't know if you got my letter yesterday. You haven't responded to it or any of my calling cards. But I just need you to know that despite my good reputation, I would be honored to have you in my life from here on out and forever.
And she doesn't give you an answer yet, but she is like, I didn't think you could forgive me. I made such a fool of myself, but I am absolutely besotted by you. And before being able to give you an answer, she is handed off. We'll pause and rewind, go to Alexander dancing with Isabel, and the two of you and what you want to say to each other.
It's been a long time, Isabel.
And is that what you say?
It's been a long time, Isabel.
Yes, indeed, it has.
I should tell you, it's... You were right to know I've met someone.
I would have wished for nothing else but that for you.
Jamie over there.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Alrighty then. You should have told me.
I know, it's been a secret romance for a little while. But I do need your help. You are an excellent matchmaker. To ensure things work with us, I need to make sure that things work with, and then I look over to Alessandra and Victoria. It's a complicated situation, but ultimately I need to make sure that the friendship between Alessandra and Jamie is bridged, and the only way to do that is to repair things.
Okay, well, I'll do what I can to assist you in this, but you must promise me to give an invite to that wedding whenever that may take place. I'm absolutely sure Jamie will be wearing something that will be the talk of the town.
Of course, I'm sure that you will have an excellent seat at the wedding.
And with that, we're gonna hand off, sorry to interrupt, to, at the same moment, if you two dancing, Jamie and Lady Hilda.
Lady Hilda, I dance with you on purpose, for I request your advice. I have a situation arising which befuddles me like I have never been befuddled before, and I have but one question that I seek your answer.
Yes, my dear, go ahead. It's just wise to seek my advice.
Should an eligible person seek a match that is of their own stature, or should they seek a match that besets their own ambitions? And I would like to play my ambitious tag.
Okay. So you want it to lean towards ambitious?
Yeah. I basically want her to bless the you go.
Okay. So with that, well, it's only proper to meet someone of your standard, but she looks around. To be honest, I was considered below my late husband, but look at me now, I'm above him. And she kind of does a little bit of a crude laugh. Oh, God rest his soul.
Of course.
And with that, you get the sense that she knows that people do reach above themselves. And she herself has done it. So consider that her blessing in any way she can. All right. So running a little tight on time. So I'm going to say you each have one person you can dance with for your second. You'll dance with them once, and then you'll go back to your original. So if you want to influence anything. Alessandra, who do you want to dance with second?
Jamie.
Yes.
It is time.
Okay. So you two agree to dance together. Okay. So you two, you catch each other in this next round, and you're dancing together.
I see things are going well with Lady Victoria, Alessandra.
I see things are going well for you and Sir Pendleton, Jamie.
Yes. Very well. Very well indeed.
Well, it seems as though our childhood ambitions are finally being created. I lost the word there. realized. Our ambitions are being realized, aren't they?
Yes. I must say, Alessandra, I care no longer for the consequences. I wish to rekindle our old friendship. I know I was behind the embarrassment of your love, Lady Victoria, but I cannot have that be what you think of me from now on. My reputation is set to grow and grow, and your friendship, kind words, and ambition are very much missing from my life.
If I may speak plainly, dear Jamie, it seems to me as though we are both reaching above our stations now for love to be completed, and now more than ever we need each other. You with your maneuvering and me with my eloquence. We will make quite the team in friendship.
In friendship.
The best of friendship.
So with that, you split back apart. You're heading towards your, another dance partner. If you wanted to change the third one, we'll let it happen. Alexander, who do you want to dance with?
I guess Hilda.
Okay. I will say we can split dances early if you want it to be someone else who's already danced. You don't have to. If you want to talk to Hilda, you absolutely can. I just wanted to give that.
I mean, I would definitely want to dance with Jamie, but is Jamie already taken for this?
I'll say it's sped up. It's splitting apart quite quickly. The tempo's going higher. The music literally is not, but the tempo's going higher. And I want everyone to dance with the partners they want to dance with. So go ahead and dance with Jamie. I don't understand these dances. You totally can.
Enjoying the party, Jamie.
Very much so. Very, very much so. Many, many schemes have come to fruition, and I think it may be time.
I'm glad to hear that. You absolutely look radiant today.
You look quite dashing yourself.
Thank you. So, if it's time, should we make an announcement? Make it formal?
I'd very much like that. Of course, I would like for you to do the talking. It would be improper if I was to suggest such a thing first.
Well, I can do that then.
So with this sweet moment, Isabel, who do you want to dance with?
Isabel is going to somehow drift out of the dance line off to the side so that she can watch all the people to pass off to the next person and get herself out the dance, and stand to the side with the fan as she watches everyone come together and smile to herself. As she just bows her head to Lady Hilda and then fades off to start talking to some younger ladies and so on. Freezing when she has to turn and look at a reverend who comes up to talk to her, but then smiling softly and going into her quiet conversation with the others, just doing her place to be supportive and caring.
Okay. Absolutely. So you outside of the dance perfectly allowed Alexander and Jamie to have gotten back together to that dance. So Alessandra, Victoria has made her way back around to you and is in your arms yet again. And looks at you. If you're certain, if you can handle my scandalous behavior, I won't repeat it, then yes, I would absolutely spend the rest of my days with you.
My love, nothing would make me happier. And as for your scandalous behavior, I quite look forward to it.
Oh, so with that, the night fades away, and we fast forward to the future, maybe a few months away, as there's some newly wedded couples. Could we get like a little bit of an epilogue from each character, starting back with Isabel? Oop, muted.
I am wondering if Jamie will allow it, if Isabel will have connected Willow with her own half-sister, Minuet, as a formal introduction.
Yes, of course.
And if there was an epilogue or a camera on it, whatever, or letter writing, it would be her chaperoning the two, going for a walk in the park or something like that. And she stays a little bit behind, dressed a little bit fancier than she used to dress, given a little bit more confidence by Jamie's assistance. And on her finger is an engagement ring.
Ooh. From?
Nobody knows. Probably some quiet, reverend or something like that that she has connected with, some person that's equally a power wallflower like herself.
Okay, absolutely. Well then, moving on to Alexander.
Well, as he stands in front of Jamie's betrothed, he announces his feelings in front of an audience, a wedding chapel. You have bewitched me body and soul, and I love you. I never wish to be parted from you from this day on.
Oh.
I reciprocate that love with gratitude and expectation. Expectations of a wonderful future together. And a lot of ambition. And I can't not describe as well. She's wearing like suit up top, dress down below.
I knew that was going to happen. I looked forward to it the entire time. All right, Alessandra.
Alessandra will wink at Jamie at that with lots of ambition comment, because Alessandra is front row of the wedding, I'm sure, with my new bride, Lady Victoria. We are both dressed in matching gowns that are beautiful. But yeah, marrying Lady Victoria has greatly increased my social standing and erased my debt. As for maintaining my impeccable reputation, well, with my newly reconnected best friend, Jamie, we have managed to stir up a bunch of rumors and scandals that greatly overlooked my wife's own improper behavior. And so hopefully nobody has remembered that, and my reputation is intact, and my wife is amazing.
All right, does Jamie have anything else to say post-wedding?
Don't think so. I have restored my friendship with Alessandra. It makes me exceedingly happy, and it would seem my reputation is in high regard.
Yes, this season you have left Lady Frances with more confidence. She's not married yet, but now she holds her head a little bit higher with a firmer grip on that champagne glass. And with that, you have found your longing, you have found your loyalty, and most of you, actually all of you, have found your love. And that is good society.
Yes!
So thank you all for playing.
Thank you.
So
that
much.
was amazing.
It was amazing. I had so much fun. Okay, everyone, so we are running a little close to time, so let's just do a quick wrap. Let's talk about who we are, where we can find each other, and all the wonderful things we can do. Let's go the opposite way around and start with Lily Sparks.
Hi, I'm Lily Sparks. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter, living a Bardnoth life at Lily Sparks with an X. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been a blast. Thank you, everyone, for playing with me, and Paige for running. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Stay well, everyone.
Next around, we have Justin at Mage Hand Press.
I'm Justin with Mage Hand Press, Community Director over there. If you like this, maybe you'll like some of our 5e supplements over at magehandpress.com. Anyways, I'll pass it off to the next person.
Honey and Dice.
Hello, everybody. I'm Honey, aka Honey and Dice. I'm at Honey and Dice on both Twitter and Instagram, but there's nothing on the Instagram. I just didn't want anybody else to take the name. I am everybody's biggest cheerleader. I'm the creator of the Embrace Initiative workshop for DMs. I DM a lot of stuff. I play on a lot of charity streams, and I'm so happy that you allowed me to play this game and fulfill my Edwardian fantasy. So thank you all for playing. Thank you all for having me, and remember to love your you. And if you can't today, remember that I love you.
At last around, DnDnPaige. What a fantastic game.
Oh, thank you. I love Good Society. If you're interested in Good Society, Storybrewers are the makers of it. You can find their website pretty easily. I am DnDnPaige. You can find me on Twitter with that. I DM much more in real life than I do online, but I love it every time I do, and I love being part of Scratticus Academy every chance I get. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate it.
Okay, fantastic. Well, we will be back. I'm going to put 20 minutes on the clock. We will be back with Kentucky Hawkeye's game in D&D 5e called Scary Snakes and Astral Ladders. We'll see you in around 20 minutes. Before I go, please check out our sponsors, Mage Hand Press, present, The Deck of Many, who make the Humblewood campaign, and also Hero Forge. And they are all amazing. You should check them all out while I stall to give myself a little bit more time to set this timer up. And I'll see you in around 20 minutes. Bye.
Bye.
Uh-oh. Looks like there's something wrong with OBS. We're not transitioning. There we go. Okay, see you later, everyone.